welcome to the Narrowing Path. Walking the Spiritual Walk. My name is Steve Van Einstein. Thank y'all for joining me again tonight as we go through and we do today's daily reading from James Allen's Daily Meditation. This will be fresh to you and fresh to me, meaning you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, what I relate to about the reading. And this will be the first time that I hear it or read it right here on this podcast with y'all. So we are going into December 17th. We're just, I can't believe we're only 14 days away from this whole thing. Wrapping up. Like I said, I do plan on continuing it. I still haven't decided what I want to do next with it. I still want to be talking about this kind of stuff, and the intention for this podcast was to continue to talk about spiritual things, and not just James Allen, but multiple different authors that I had found very beneficial. And so I'm not sure where we're going to take it, but we will be continuing on this podcast with more content, but I don't know if it'll be a daily reader or not. So we'll see what happens. But here we go. Let's go ahead, get this reading for today in. So this is December 17th reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations. The ground of certainty on which we can securely rest amid all the incidents of life is the mathematical exactitude of moral law. The unceasing change, the insecurity and mystery of life make it necessary to find some basis of certainty on which to rest if happiness and peace of mind are to be maintained. The basic principle, a knowledge of which the whole race will ultimately acquire. It is best represented by the term divine justice. Human justice differs with every man according to his own light or darkness, but there can be no variation in that divine justice by which the universe is eternally sustained. Divine justice is spiritual mathematics. As with figures and objects, so with the thoughts and deeds of men. 2 and 2 equally make 4. Given the same cause, there will always be the same effect. Well, I don't know what y'all thought of that, but I enjoyed that one. That one was really, really cool. Hold on, I got a spot on my glasses. I'm cleaning off real quick, guys. But I like that. There's some. Whenever James Allen uses the word divine, it's something you need to pay attention to, right? And I like the comparison he uses here from divine justice to our justice, right? Because our justice is based on our own subjective perspectives and opinions. Divine justice is based on truth and only truth, purely in reality. That's it. So let's go back through this line by line. The ground of uncertainty on which we can securely rest amid the incidents of life is the mathematical exactitude of the moral law. The ground of certainty on which we can securely rest amid all incidents of life is the mathematical exactitude of the moral law. So, regardless of what's going on in your life, this exactitude of moral law that he refers to here really is this understanding of justice, that we get what we put out, that we attract what we are, that we bring to us what we think about. We have a part to play in all of these things. So there's peace in that. Why? Because it lets us change, gives us the power. That's where your steadfastness come from, is based on law, moral principle, discipline, all of these things that we talk about here. The unceasing change, the in, I'm having a hard time with all this. I apologize. The unceasing change, the insecurity, and the mystery of life make it necessary to find some basis of certainty on which to rest if happiness and peace of mind are to be maintained. So, the living in a constantly changing world filled with fear and unknown, what do we stand on? What do we reach for? Where do we ground ourselves? What do we ground ourselves in? Right? These are pretty big questions because everything around us, including ourselves, is temporary and immaterial. So, how can we actually ground ourselves in anything material? The only thing that is sure is moral law, is truth. That will never change. It will always be like it always has been. We've talked about that a lot lately. The eternal spirit, the creative energy, the source, that energy that runs through everything. It's always been there and always will be there. So when you can stand on that understanding, when you can stand on that knowing of that truth, suddenly you can weather any storm life throws at you. And to stand on that principle, to stand on the virtues and those moral laws he talks about, gives us integrity and peace of mind and contentment, which leads to happiness in life. Really takes our own personal ego and opinion out of the way, which is just such a blessing when that can happen. Human justice. Wait, hold on. This basic principle, a knowledge of which the whole race will ultimately acquire, is best represented by the term divine justice, meaning it comes from something divine, not ourselves, not within man itself, but from a divine source of information. That's the standard we get held to, that divine. They're that source, that spiritual truth that we talk about all the time. Spiritual truth that will be, how to say, the ruler by which we are measured is the divine justice. There won't, and this will apply equally to all. There will not be anything that would modify what that truth that's always been will do, because then it wouldn't be on true and honest justice. This is something the whole race will be held to, not just on an individual basis, like human justice. Let's read about that. Human justice differs with every man according to his own light or darkness, but there can be no variation that divine justice by which the universe is eternally established. Really, we're just a blip in this world. Why would we expect divine truths that have always been there to resonate? Why do we expect those things to change for us? Like we have some special privilege. Very interesting thought. And human justice has so much complication to it, has so much bias, perspective, and the health and understanding sways justice. Divine justice will not have any of my opinions involved with it. It will be the knowledge and known truth. And then that to be abide by, right? That's what we're all going for, really, at the end of the day. That's what we're all trying to strive for is spiritual awareness, understanding, and enlightenment. The problem is there isn't a time you got there, especially now without the help of others. Divine justice is spiritual mathematics. That's an interesting way of saying that, but I believe it. As with figures and objects, so with thoughts and deeds of men. Two and two equally make four. Just divine justice is spiritual mathematics. What a sentence that is. I love that. That's quotable. As with figures and objects, so with thoughts and deeds of men. Two and two equally make four. So we're just talking about how the thoughts again lead to the actions, right? So a man's actions will truly show you what they're about, whether they like that or not. And is saying that in this physical world, the spiritual principles still apply. They're emulated in this physical world, but they have always existed. Two and two equally make four. The thinking brings the action. So now the last line, given the same cause, there will always be the same effect. You ever heard the term that goes around 12-step rooms, probably many others, that nothing changes if nothing changes? You keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expect it to be better this time with no real change in yourself, you will fail repeatedly, mercilessly, embarrassingly. You will fail. And that's a hard thing to understand because we like to say we just are unlucky. We like to say I made a mistake. The reality of it is not much has changed on our side. So we get the same results over and over and over again. But that's just the reality. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So be willing to change yourself. So, all right. Well, thank you all for joining me again this evening as we wrap up this first year of a daily podcast. It's been exciting for me. I hope for you guys as well. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow's. Until next time. Thanks.